Crimson Trace announces Link, the world's first wireless laser and white light system, combining a green laser and 300 lumen light with instinctive activation for AR-type rifles. Link, smart, simple, secure. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, new rifles, ammo for your upcoming hunt, plus your range reports and much more. Call in now, 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
All right, turn off the TV. We're going to have some fun talking about guns today. I'm Tom Gresham. It is Gun Talk. We're going to be talking about, well, guns and ammo and scopes and shooting and self-protection and safety and responsibility and a whole lot of other things. In fact, it's a lot of it's going to be driven by you. If you'd like to throw in a topic, let's go there. And, of course, we're always looking for range reports. If you've been out shooting, been out doing some hunting, because, of course, hunting seasons are open in a lot of parts of the country now. I'd like to know what are you seeing, how'd you do, any particular stories you would like to share. That's what we do. We sit around the virtual campfire and we swap tales and ask questions. And I may have questions for you. People have questions for me, and sometimes I know the answer. Sometimes I make them. No, I never make them up. But I do ask for help, and a lot of times you're able to help me out. By the way, our number here is 866-TALK-GUN. Easier to just say Tom, or dial Tom Talk Gun, T-O-M, Tom Talk Gun. Will certainly get you in there. We have a lot of things going on. We're going to be talking to some guests today about some, well, let's see, we've got a new gun, we've got some ammo, we've got different things going on. Also, I got to tell you, we're giving away stuff, as we like to do. Go to guntalk.com/win, and we have our Sig Sauer and Crossbreed holsters giveaway going on right now. Somebody's going to win Sig $1,000 in Sig ammo. Wow, that's cool. And the Sig P210 target pistol. All kind of stuff. Also, concealed carry starter pack from Crossbreed Holsters. You see it all there. Just go check it out. Guntalk.com/win. If you have our app, Gun Dealio, on your phone, be sure to update it. It's important. We have brand new build. That's software developer speak. A brand new build, they tell me, and it works better. So just update. If you don't have it, by all means, of course, put it on there, because now you're going to be able to search for deals. We were never able to do that before. Everybody wanted it. Say, hey, I want to search for deals. Okay, cool. We got it now. So you go on there and find who's got deals on holsters or ammo or guns or 9mm or whatever it is you're looking for. You can do some searching there. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Okay. I need to throw a question out there. And there's not a right or wrong answer. It's just an individual way of approaching things. I have thoughts. I have these weird thoughts that come into my head. And I run them around for a while, and sometimes they develop into something, and sometimes they just sit there and they beg for answers. And this is one of those. A couple of things. Two things came together. It's like, sometimes you'll have different events happen and they kind of connect. We were watching the movie Patriot Day with Mark Wahlberg about the Boston Marathon bombing. Excellent movie, by the way. I thought it was very well done. Bad guys with guns. I mean, some serious bad guys in this thing. I mean, we think of them, if you don't know the story, we think of these as two kids who made some pressure cooker bombs. Yeah, there's a whole lot more to than that. They did some real shoot 'em up stuff. And in the shootouts, you need a lot of ammo. And as much as I like old school, as much as I really enjoy revolvers and single stack pistols, I found myself once again watching this. And remember, it's not just a movie. It's just the real world. It's real life. This is what happened. This is what happens. I'm thinking, man, 7 shots isn't going to get it. 8 shots isn't going to get it. In a situation like that, you need a bunch of bullets. Like I said, a bucket of bullets. That's what you need. And then also what's going on is I'm getting ready for a hunt. And I'm looking at scopes, got my rifle in, looking at scopes, what to put on there. And I tend to be old school. I tend to use the old sight in 3 inches high at 100 yards. And the trajectory will take care of you out to 300 yards. Just hold on. And it works. And it's fast. And it doesn't require any headroom. You don't have to think about it. You just, from 0 to 300 yards, you just hold on a deer-sized animal. Don't worry about drop. Don't worry about rise. You're going to be 3.5 inches high, maybe 4 inches high at 200 yards. And you're going to be 4.5 inches low at 300 yards, something along those lines. All of that will get you into a deer's vital area. And yet, the argument is, well, why not use a laser rangefinder and use bullet drop compensator dials on your scope to dial in the exact distance, the range? My first reaction, the immediate reaction I had was, well, that takes time to use the laser rangefinder and to dial in the distance. And all that's true. And also, I have to admit, I kind of default to where I started, which was when there were no laser rangefinders and when there were no bullet drop compensators and elevation dials and all of that. But if your target, your critter, your trophy, is out at 300 or 400 or 500 yards, and you know that I'm not a real fan of long-range shooting at game animals, but if you are a good shot, that is, can you always, 100% of the time, at that given distance, put your shots into a 9 or 10-inch paper plate? If not, it's too far. For whatever the situation is, the rest you have or can take, the conditions, the wind, whatever. But if you are not absolutely confident that you can put your shots, your first shot, into a paper plate at whatever the distance is, then don't shoot. Okay, fair enough. You gotta, we owe something to the animal we're hunting. However, I've had shots where I had an absolute sit down on the rocks, lock it in, better than a bench shot. 300, 350, 400 yards, easy peasy, as they say. If you had a shot that far, you would almost always have time, because it's not a running animal. You're not going to take a shot at a running animal that far. At least you shouldn't. And if you laser range finded it, I don't know, is that a word? You lased it at 350 yards. And then you could adjust your scope so you could hold on at 350 yards. So you know the distance, and you can dial it in, and your rifle is accurate, and you have a good trigger, or a good shot, and you have a solid rest. Is there an argument to be made, and this is my question to you, is there an argument to be made for going with that sort of system so you have at least that option? So we're talking old school 1911s revolvers versus double stack 9s, bucket of bullet type 9s, Wonder 9s. And we're also talking old school in a fixed 4-power. No, I'm not that old school. Or a 2-7, a 3-9, where you just sight in 3 inches high and hold on out to 300. Don't worry about it. Or having a laser rangefinder and an adjustable scope so that you can just, do your dialing in. You can get it right where you want it to be. What's your take? Where do you go on that? Where do you fall on the whole old school versus the new technology, old school versus, and either one of those? And I will tell you, I used to carry a 1911 all the time. And there are times when I carry a single stack, but I really prefer the double stack 9 just because I don't know what's going to happen out there. 866 Talk Gun. I'd love to get your thought process. How do you come to your decisions on that? 866 Talk Gun, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. I'm Tom Gresham.
Want your next gun purchase to be fast and hassle-free? Well, at galleryofguns.com, you can search through thousands of models from our huge firearms inventory. Find a great offer from a local dealer that includes all fees and taxes. And there's no need to arrange a transfer. Gallery of Guns takes a small deposit on your credit card, and your gun will be at your chosen dealer in as little as 48 hours. Plus, your gun will be covered by our guaranteed lifetime replacement warranty. GalleryofGuns.com. Search, find, buy. It really is just that easy.
Since 1937, Ducks Unlimited has led the charge on wetlands and waterfowl conservation. Wetlands reduce the effects of flooding and recharge our drinking water, but perhaps most importantly, they allow us to experience what makes the outdoors so great. Band together to rescue our wetlands.
Legends aren't born legendary. They are proven legendary. Like the new FN 509 handgun, a direct result of over 1 million rounds of testing and a direct descendant of over 125 years of legendary FN firearms. The world's most battle-proven firearms. The FN 509, a legend in the making. Find out more at fnamerica.com.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or GunDealio.com.
When you want the highest quality ammunition, look to HSM. Since 1968, hunters and shooters have counted on HSM cartridges, including world-renowned Trophy Gold, featuring Berger VLD bullets, Pro Pistol Hunter, Cowboy Action, and the new Game King, featuring field-proven Sierra bullets. HSM's new revolutionary low-recoil rifle loads hit game hard, but kick much less. Low-recoil loads use standard weight-for-caliber Sierra hunting bullets in 7 popular calibers. HSM at your local shooting sports retailer.
All right, welcome back to Gun Talk. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Line 3, Derek's with us out of Madison, North Carolina, where they have had a few wins around that part of the world. Hey, Derek, what's on your mind?
Well, I was kind of curious with some of the recent shows. You talked about losses, fires, floods, storms, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of curious, those of us with NFA items, what happens if our stamps or paperwork gets damaged or destroyed?
Interesting. Okay, so for those who don't know, NFA, National Firearms Act items, silencers, full auto, etc., short barrel rifles, you have to have a $200 tax stamp for each of those items. Mm-hmm. Generally, we tend to keep our tax stamps in a safe or a safe deposit box, and we carry only a copy of that with the item itself.
Right. That's basically what I do as well. Okay.
Assuming that the bank doesn't flood or blow away, I would also suggest you may want to keep a copy of your stamps in digital form so that you at least have that, because it's unlikely you're going to lose the item itself, the suppressor, the firearm. You may get damaged or even destroyed, but you still need your paperwork.
Right.
I would certainly want to have a digital copy of all of that stored somewhere. And, honestly, when we're talking about disasters, this would be a place where having at least a copy of it in the cloud, online storage somewhere, is not a bad idea. If all your computers and all your drives get washed away in the flood, then what good are they? Mm-hmm. Does that make any sense?
It does. I guess my concern was I didn't know if it would be, if I really needed the originals, because like I said, I do keep a copy with, like a photocopy with the items.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I would imagine, the reason I'm saying it to have the digital is so that if someone says, hey, you got this thing and do you have paperwork on it, you can say, well, it washed away and I have reapplied to get my, get that reissued or whatever they have to do. But in the meantime, I have this digital record to show that, yes, it's legal, and yes, I did get the stamp on it. As to whether, I'm sure ATF will reissue that if you said, hey, this stuff got destroyed in the hurricane.
That was basically the question. I was curious if they reissued or what.
I would imagine, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine that they wouldn't. All you have to do is have show them a picture of the slab where your house used to be.
Yeah.
I know that's gallows humor, but around here, and when I'm close to New Orleans, we get pretty used to that around here. So I hope that helps, Derek. I appreciate that. Let's see. Justin, line 2, Granite City, Illinois. Old school, modern, what are you thinking?
Well, personally, I like the old school. And just for the simple fact that in order to, if you go as modern as possible, you're constantly relying on technology.
Yep.
I was taught, get a four-wheel drive where you had the manual shift, not the push button. That fuse goes out, something fails, all of a sudden, what do you do? And, and also the old school way, you have to practice. You have to know your rig. You have to know your capabilities. Is the technology nice? Yes. But, like with my concealed carry rig, basic system, the one thing I modified is my trigger because it's Smith & Wesson M&P, went with an Apex Tactical trigger kit.
Okay.
But it's a short gun. You got to practice with it to get to know it. If you're wanting to hunt deer out to 300 yards, you need to practice out to 300 yards or 350. It's just, to me, that's just kind of, if the technology works and that's all you got, you don't have a place to go out and practice, then all right. If you have the funds to practice a lot, so be it. But
let me throw this out. We can practice without spending any money, and I'm always amazed at how many people don't do dry fire practice, and it is just enormously helpful. No, it won't help you manage recoil, but it helps you with almost everything else, just in terms of mounting a rifle and getting on the target quickly, or drawing and dry firing safely, quickly. Dry fire is a tremendous tool. I don't know of any, and here's the thing, I don't know of any competitive shooter who does not dry fire daily. Seriously, daily. If you're a serious competitor, you're out there dry firing daily. John's with us on one out of West Leechburg, PA. Hey, John, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom, I have to agree with you on these electronic gizmos and doodads. I don't have a problem with all of it if you're hunting a groundhog or a coyote or a prairie dog. But the problem I have with big game is people tend to put too much faith in the electronics, and they forget about trigger control, they forget about breath control. And it's like you hear the stories about the person that puts the car into cruise control and then just sits back and they wonder why they wreck.
It's not an autopilot.
Exactly right. And you're putting too much confidence and faith in the electronics, and you're forgetting the basics at that point.
Yeah, are the people who drive into a pond because the GPS told them to turn there, so they didn't even look out the window? Yeah.
Right. But like I said, for a groundhog, well, who cares? You're either going to hit it or you're not, and if you hit it, you're still killing it because it's such a small animal. But I don't want to see a gut-shot elk or a gut-shot sheep or a deer.
Well, and let me take it one step further to your point, which is, yes, breath control, but the other part of it, and this goes to the experience and the practice, wind. You can dial up the drop because the drop is constant, gravity is constant, but the wind is shifting and it's different, and maybe it's from right to left here, but out there by the target/critter, it's left to right.
Exactly right.
And that's where experience and skill comes in, and skill is only derived from practice and experience.
I used to shoot competition real fast, the CMP matches.
Okay.
And I shot the 1,000-yard course of fire in Tyrone, PA. And that was with the M1A1 with iron sights. So that's a 308. And I was shooting 172 grain mil-spec bullets that I got from the CMP. And what I was told is a 10-mile-an-hour crosswind will blow you 99 inches at 1,000 yards.
It's interesting. Let me run that up. 99. Wow, that's because I was going to say 6 feet, but it's more than 6 feet.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what I was told by the guys
sure
who
right.
shoot it all the time. So, and
yeah, I'm sure you're right. And most people have no idea, and they never think about it. They think, well, first of all, a lot of people think that rifles shoot so fast that it's instant. You shoot here and it hits over there, and they don't understand that if the animal takes a step, which it certainly can in the amount of time it takes a bullet to go 600, 700 yards, you're looking at a 0.7 seconds, and 1,000 yards, maybe as much as almost close to a second. And the animal can take a step or two, and all of a sudden, it's, even though everything was perfect when you pull the trigger, now it's gut shot. So do we really want to be taking those shots? I mean, I personally, 350 is the number that comes to mind. I can do 350. I know I can do that if I have a good rest.
I did 355 on a black bear.
Okay, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's my longest shot on a deer was right at 350. But absolutely rock solid rest. He's not moving. I'm not moving, and there's no wind. Good to go. I also, and I fess up here, I took about a 325 shot on a monster mule deer, and he was walking. He was walking fast. I thought I put a pretty good lead on him. I put it out in front of his nose, right where it's supposed to be, and hit him right in the ham. And we had a mile-long stalk before I could get him and put another bullet in him to finish it off. So whatever the length of a big mule deer is, that's how far he moved in the time it took a 300 Magnum to go 325 yards. That's what we're talking about. You make your point well, John. I appreciate your input here. There's a lot to this stuff. And, 600 yards is not twice as hard to hit as 300 yards. It's 10 times harder because the variables just get more and more crazy. We talk about wind and the ability of the animal to move and everything else, and obviously your wobble and all that. What is your limit on that? I would like to know. Also, we've got a thing coming up here that I think you want to get involved with. We're going to be talking about when we come back. It's the National Hunting and Fishing Day. We've been doing this every year. It's a chance for you to do your outreach. People say, well, what can I do for the Second Amendment? What can I do for gun ownership? What can I do for hunting? Tell you what, don't go far. When we come back, we're going to tell you what it is, how you can get involved, and what you can do.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All right, welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham, 866-TALK-GUN, get you in here. One of the things that I've been proud to be involved with for a long, long time now is the National Hunting and Fishing Day. And it's coming up again, and joining us to talk about that, explain what it is and how you get involved. Misty Mitchell joins us from the National Shooting Sports Foundation and National Hunting and Fishing Day. Hey, Misty.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
I am well. If you would, give folks a little bit of the background on National Hunting and Fishing Day.
Well, National Hunting and Fishing Day has actually started in 1972. Ira Jaffe was an owner of a gun shop in Pennsylvania, and he was the first to suggest the day. And the National Shooting Sports Foundation went to Congress, and they unanimously, believe it or not, actually passed the bill creating National Hunting and Fishing Day. And something that happens unanimously in Congress now, that's hard to say now.
I don't think they could agree that the sun comes up in the east.
You are correct. But back then in 1972, they did. And with that, we now celebrate National Hunting and Fishing Day on the fourth Saturday of September annually.
Okay, so that would be this coming Saturday, September the 23rd. So what is it? What happens on National Hunting and Fishing Day?
Well, around the country, a lot of conservation groups, small marinas, bait and tackle stores, they all hold events around the nation that really promote getting the kids outdoors, getting that next generation of conservationists out in the field. Unfortunately, as our lives have become more urbanized, we have cell phones and all those things that, kids are attached to. We got to get them outdoors, because if we don't get them outdoors, they're not going to love and protect the outdoors.
It's a good point. They're not going to obviously protect, for in our case, the shooting sports or firearms, but also just the things, the places where we go to do these things, the waters, the fields, the habitat. All of that comes from people enjoying them and being out there. And if you're not exposed to them, you kind of shrug and don't care anymore.
Yeah, and that's true. They say that if you don't love something, you won't protect it and save it. And, the next generation of kids are going to be our voters. They're going to be the ones that say, yeah, we want to protect that. And I think it's so important to get families out and really promote that hunting, fishing, shooting, and all of those outdoor activities.
Well, I've been to a number of them throughout the years, and it's always fun because if you've got particularly if you have a range around, and we always did it at a shooting range where you had a lot of kids come out, maybe some who have never been exposed to it before, and we had a ton of volunteers, just people who said, look, I'll come out and help. What do you need? Well, we just need people to help people park. Great. I mean, you don't have to be a firearms instructor or anything else. You just have to be willing to go help. And one of the things I would always do, and it sounds silly, I would always take a bag of these caps, ball caps that I would get from gun manufacturers and take them out there and would give them to all the kids, and they just love that.
Yeah, kids love that. And it doesn't, you don't have to be a specialist in the field. You just have to have a little bit of passion or time on your hands to just get out and take somebody outdoors. And it doesn't have to be, real intense. Because a lot of times it's that first introduction to the outdoors, whether it be taking to a range, like you said, or getting them out, showing them how to squirrel hunt, do all of those things like that.
I noticed as I look at your website, nhfday.org for National Hunting and Fishing Day, and you got a link there for events. You can click on that and then click on your state and find events that are going on there that you might want to get involved with.
Yeah, it's a great way to find an event in your area. And if you can't find one there, you can actually send us a contact and we'll see if we can help you find an event in your area. But what we do is we ask all the conservation agencies across the nation to send us their events, and we try to get them out to the public so they know where to go.
And I know that there are a number of them that are not listed here, so you could, they can contact. There's a contact us link on your website. Also, they can always check with the state hunting and or game and fish or whatever the Department of Wildlife is, because they may have an idea of where there's some events that people can volunteer and help out with.
That is correct. A lot of those state agencies are kind of the leading driver of these events across the nation, but it doesn't always have to be there. I know the Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's stores are doing events at the local stores, so you can find that. You also can find, small gun ranges that are doing events.
Yep, exactly. We always had our small gun range, and we would have, several dozen kids come out for National Hunting and Fishing Day. I just want to say congratulations. Man, 1972, that goes way back. That is a great program.
It's pretty amazing that, President Nixon actually was the first president to proclamate National Hunting and Fishing Day, and believe it or not, every president since then has actually written the proclamation. So we're looking forward to this year's proclamation also.
That is outstanding. Misty, thank you so much for sharing the information. National Hunting and Fishing Day, September 23rd, coming up this Saturday. Anybody that wants to can get involved. I guarantee you there's no place out there that won't take some volunteers to help out. Thank you again. Appreciate it. All righty, 866-TALK-GUN. Here's a thought. People say, what can I do? Well, here's one. What have you done? How are you helping? Are we helping? Here's a question for you. Are you personally, or I'd say we, but are you? Am I helping to make the world around us better? Are we helping individuals and groups and everything else? What's your plan? What are your thoughts? How can we, as responsible gun owners and shooters and hunters, get involved? If you have some thoughts on it, give me a holler. 866-TALK-GUN.
There's a reason why police officers trust Spear Gold Dot ammunition over the competition. The same reason you should too. The ultimate expansion and FBI-tested reliability have proven time and again to protect America's finest. Spear Gold Dot is the #1 trusted ammo for police protection. And while it's standard issue for the men and women in blue, it's now available for personal protection. Spear Gold Dot, the gold standard of professional conceal and carry ammunition.
Built to perform in the harshest conditions, the Ruger American pistol can take it all, from ice to dust and everything in between. The Ruger American pistol features a short take-up trigger, Novak sights, and a recoil-reducing barrel cam with low-mass slide for reduced felt recoil. Plus, a modular grip system with 3 sizes to fit almost any hand. Check it out at Ruger.com. The Ruger American pistol, because anything else would be un-American.
Responsible owners control access to their firearms, even when they may need them in a hurry. Liberty Safe, the nation's leader in gun safes, offers 6 models of handgun vaults. Strong, simple to use, open with a key or fingerprint. Put your handgun in the compact vault, lock it away until you need it. Then it's in your hand almost instantly. Pick the Liberty Safe handgun vault that's right for you. LibertySafeHD.com.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Used guns can be a great value, but you have to know who you're buying from. What if you could buy quality used guns with a lifetime warranty from the Internet's largest online reseller? That's what you get at Dewey'sGuns.com. They stand behind every firearm purchase for life. If you have a problem, they'll either fix or replace your gun. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, and more. Check out their inventory today at Dewey'sGuns.com. All right, back with you. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Let's go straight to the phones. Line 3, Paul's with us out of Moorhead, Minnesota. Hey, Paul, you're on Gun Talk.
Hi. I wanted to just talk about shooting big game at a long distance. I never do that. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm shooting at a target at, 300-400 yards and I might hit it, I don't dare do that to a wild animal, like a deer. If you shoot at a deer, you better make sure you can shoot that deer where it's standing and hit it in the vitals, because in Minnesota, I think there's over 300,000 hunters, and over 20,000 are shot and crippled, and they don't recover them. I've talked to a lot of guys that said, oh, yeah, I shot a deer running at 300 yards, and he might have hit it, or the doe, and he didn't go and check it, didn't check for blood, and you wounded a deer, and you don't even go check it. That's what we call slob hunting. Yep.
Basically, it's a violation of what I would consider to be the ethical hunter credo. Once I pulled the trigger, and here's the other part of that, I have just committed myself for a while, because I'm assuming I'm going to hit, and when I do, then you got to gut the animal, you got to pack it out, you got to do all that. But if I shoot and I don't see any sign of a hit, and the animal runs off, I'm still committed for a few hours, because I have to go find where that deer or that elk or whatever it was. I got to walk over there, and I have to spend an hour or so looking. If I find any blood, now I'm really committed, because now I'm on, quite literally, sometimes on my hands and knees, following a blood trail, turning over leaves, trying to find a drop of blood every 10 feet or whatever it is. And it may take hours to find it. But once you pull the trigger, you have made a commitment. At least you should, from an ethical standpoint, don't you think?
Yes. And Tom?
Yes, sir.
About 3 years ago, I shot this buck. It was about 100 yards away. I was using my Marlin 35 Remington that I had just purchased. And I had target practice with it, and it shot perfect. And I shot this deer, and that deer bowled over like it hit a brick wall. I put my gun down, and I was waiting for 10 minutes. When I looked up, I saw this deer standing over in the woods, and I thought, that can't be my deer. Sure enough, it was. It took off running. It took us 3 hours of tracking it to find it, about a mile away. It took 3 hours, and it was grueling to find the blood because there was no snow on the ground.
Right.
And it took us 3 hours, but we found it, and it was laying there dead. A lot of people wouldn't do that, and they'd go, I'm going to go shoot another deer. It's like, you just shot a deer, and boy, I tell you what, this pisses me off.
I'm with you, my friend. That's like I say, when you pull the trigger, you've made a commitment. Now, you know, the day is not yours anymore. You know what you're doing for the rest of the day. You got to go. You have committed. You owe it not only to the animal, you owe it to yourself and to hunting in general, to not be that slob hunter. I appreciate that. William's on 2 out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. William, you're on Gun Talk.
Yes, how you doing? I just got a question. I was taking some training, and I'm a truck driver, so I'm an over-the-road truck driver. I don't have my firearm with me in the truck due to company policy. But I was informed by the instructor that you could have your firearm mailed to you, not to an NFA, but to you if you say staying in a hotel or not.
All right, here's how that works. If you're talking handgun, no, you cannot mail your handgun. Only a dealer, firearms dealer, can mail, U.S. Postal Service mail. You cannot mail a handgun, but you can, should you desire, mail a long gun. Use the U.S. Postal Service to mail a shotgun or a rifle. If you want to send a handgun to yourself, perfectly legal, you must use FedEx or UPS. I would suggest FedEx. I would also suggest not telling them what you're shipping. I would take it to a shipping center that's not a FedEx office. Perfectly legal. Obviously, make sure it's unloaded. Send it to someone, in care of someone, but to yourself. Have them not open it. When you get it there, like the trainer, then you can open the package and it's yours. And then you could also send it back to yourself that way. That is legal under federal law to do that, but not through the U.S. mail, but using FedEx or UPS. I appreciate it, William, and good on you for getting some training. John's in Reno on 1. John, you there?
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm good. New school or old school? What do you think?
I'm new school.
Yeah?
And here's my reasoning. So I got to qualify that. I'm new school, but your basic competency has to be there.
Okay.
You can't just, buy a scope and a rifle or a rifle and a scope with a BCD, get your laser rangefinder and your wind meter and go out there and start shooting at deer, 800-900 yards off without knowing how to use that equipment.
Okay.
However, the technology, the way things are going these days with the advancements in firearms and firearm goodies, it makes us better shooters. And my analogy would be to cars, right? So if you had a 1965 pickup truck, you wouldn't drive that thing 80 miles an hour down a highway without being a little bit nervous about everything, falling apart or wobbling or whatever. However, you get a 2017 Honda Accord, and you wouldn't even know you were going 80 miles an hour.
True.
It's the technology just makes it that much easier. And I think that it's the same with firearms. The advancements in even actions, blueprinting in action nowadays. These companies that are machining these actions just to a gnat's ass, pardon my French.
I know what you're saying, but let me throw this out. Yes, rifles more accurate, ammo's more accurate, and we can laser range find this thing, and we can bullet drop compensate, all that. But if you've got a squirrely wind out there, and you have no wind flags out there, you are exposing your shot and yourself to that bullet being blown off maybe feet at an 800-yard shot. And for me, it's a personal deal, for me, in that situation, I would not be comfortable. I'm not saying I can't make an 800-yard shot. I can. I make, 1,000-yard shot, sure. Conditions are right. We can get on a bench. We can flop down, prone. We can do all of that. But first shot, every time, I could do that at 300 yards. I have no problem with that. 350, yeah, probably. I just know me. Now, if you're saying, I can always make first shot hit at 600, 700, 800 yards, first of all, I'm impressed. And secondly, I'm skeptical. Okay. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham. Yeah, this is Gun Talk. What do you think? Oh, by the way, on Twitter, I am at Gun Talk. Tom, just look for me at Gun Talk on Twitter, because I'm putting out tweets, which are really more like news alerts, links to news stories. I mean, I'm not telling you what I had for breakfast. Who cares? But when a story breaks, I put it out on Twitter, and you can be the first to know about it. You will be informed if you will follow me on Twitter. Jim brought out something during the break that was interesting. He said, do you know, do you think there are people who walk around hunting with the safety off of their gun? My first inclination was to say, well, no, of course, that would be ridiculous. And then I thought, well, there may be. There may be somebody who says, I want to be fast on the shot. I don't want to miss the shot. You might not want to go hunting. And if that is somebody you hunt with, you might not want to go hunting with that person, because that's the kind of person who takes the snapshot at a sound or a flash of brown. And here's my take. I want to get this out here. It's not an accident if you point your gun at someone and shoot them and thought it was a deer. That's negligence. If you kill them, it's negligent homicide. I think you should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Sometimes it's chalked up, well, it's a hunting accident. No. You pointed your gun at someone and you pulled the trigger because you thought it was a bear. People don't look like bears. You thought it was a deer. People don't look like deer. Should you go to jail? I don't know. That's a sentencing phase. I don't know. But I certainly think it should be prosecuted every time. Maybe we'll get people to slow down. Maybe we'll get them to be more careful. It's not that important, people. It's a deer or a moose or whatever it is. It's just a thing. And it's not worth endangering anybody, anywhere, anytime, for any reason. And if you're with somebody who's that hyped up and nervous, you can either slow them down, talk them down, or go somewhere else. I will tell you, there are times when I carry an empty chamber when I'm hunting. Well, you can't make a fast shot. Yeah, I know. I don't care. If I miss a chance at a deer because of that, then I just missed a chance at a deer. Big deal. I'm still out hunting. But if I'm walking across a talus slope on the side of a hillside in Montana or Wyoming or Idaho, and it's just nasty, and you know that there's a decent chance you're going to slip and slide and go down on your rear end and slide 100 feet down the hill, I'm going to have an empty chamber. I'm taking the round out of the chamber of my gun. I can always work the bolt and get one in there fairly quickly if I need to, if there's a shot there. But if, for whatever reason, I had a shot, a possible shot, and I can't make it, that's the way it goes. I'm still safe. It's just really kind of simple. Let's go down to line 3. Rick's with us out of Texas. Hey, Rick, ethical hunting, what do you think?
Well, I'm glad you guys are talking about it because I'm pretty much pro-animal. But I don't hunt anymore. I shot a deer one time, and I went twice. And that was enough for me. I don't know. But I don't have a problem with people hunting. But I would encourage people to let's give the animals a break, And especially, usually people go hunting in pairs, and maybe to encourage each other to kind of watch out for the animals. It's really all I got to say.
Well, I appreciate it. And look, I get it. Hunting's not for everybody. If you tried it, you said, I don't want to do that again, okay, not a problem. But I'm with you there. Let's treat the animals with respect that they deserve. You're hunting a sentient being that can feel pain. We owe it to them to do this. I mean, look, nothing dies of old age out there. It's just nasty. They're going to die of something. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that it gives us the right to be less than ethical. The other thing is it's not always about the animal. It's about how it reflects on us and who we are and how we feel about ourselves and how other people feel about us. Hey, tell you what, when we come back, let's talk about hunting ammo, because the bullet is what you send out. It's what does the work. Coming up on Gun Talk.